electrophysiology of Apollo Hospital. That's a very interesting beat, one must say, very interesting expertise area as well. And she joins us to break down what these drinks are really doing to our heart and how can we stay safe. Doctor, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. I first want to talk about this particular case, and then let's put that aside, because this is one, I'm sure, a rare case. Not everybody who's drinking so many energy drinks in a day. So we'll talk about that a little later. But in this particular case, just for the benefit of our audiences as well, she was a 28-year-old fitness enthusiast. And she often drank about 3 energy drinks in a day and also took caffeine supplements before hitting the gym. Now, her friends are in absolute tatters and disbelief that how can this lead to death. Her mother, however, says that she was dealing with horrible anxiety as well, but she believes it was not induced by her lifestyle or any other problem. It was actually caffeine induced. So here again, this is all in the realm of speculation. This is what family and friends are speculating. We don't know the cause of death just yet. But in your opinion, can caffeine overdose, having multiple energy drinks a day, having caffeine supplements as well, can that be dangerous enough to take somebody's life?
Thank you for the question. That is a very pertinent discussion we should be having long ago. In fact, I have been highlighting these factors in all my podcasts. But answering your question, well, excess of everything is bad. You've heard that? So, 3 energy drinks in a day, and on top of that, having caffeine, having coffee and pre-workouts before hitting the gym. I mean, I would call it madness. It is not, any person who has a sane mind would not do this. Energy drinks are full of sugar, they are full of caffeine, and over and above that, coffee that is hitting you in there. And you just said that they are not sure what is the cause of death. She had anxiety issues, and the mother is sure that it is not because of her lifestyle, but because of caffeine. If you know that something is not good for your body, it is affecting your personality and giving you such anxiety issues, why should you take it? Is making a body within couple of days is so important that you would compromise your health without even double checking on with your doctors or with the
No, but doctor, this is not
experts?
somebody who was going on an extreme diet. This was her lifestyle. Her friends are saying that she just collapsed in the middle of a workout. She just dropped dead on the floor. They tried to revive her for several hours. She was then on life support for about 10 days or so, but nothing could bring her back. So we're talking about a very healthy individual, and the mother also highlights, goes on to highlight that she only ate a clean diet, only consumed organic food, had a very, very healthy life except for energy drinks. So I'm trying to understand, can that one factor alone be so detrimental that it will take away your life?
My dear friend, is healthy diet enough? If you are taking a healthy diet, but you are consuming energy drinks like crazy, will that balance? Do you think one thing balances the other? No, it doesn't. The energy drinks that you are taking, the caffeine that you are utilizing, it is affecting your heart very derogately. I have so many patients coming to me, and the only thing I tell them, I request them with folded hand, is please do not take anything which has been given from you from gym. Neither the supplements, nor the pre-workouts, nor the energy drinks. Please do not take that. Because these are dehydrating. Over and above that, they are just stimulants to give you a false boost of energy. And they are dehydrating. Over and above that, you are hitting the gym, you are sweating. Your electrolytes, what they are doing to your body, you don't know. And what she had was an arrhythmia. It was not a heart attack. She had sudden cardiac arrest, from which she collapsed. Suddenly, always it is an arrhythmia which occurs, which takes your life. there is a whole lot of a difference between heart attack and sudden cardiac arrest. The sudden cardiac arrest is affected by by electrolyte imbalance, by taking so many stimulants, by these over the long time. These things have been shown to cause scars in the heart. We do cardiac MRI so frequently nowadays when the youngsters are coming with palpitations. They have abnormal heartbeats. They come to us with those, and we do cardiac MRI, and we see scars in the heart. I have fixed so many of the arrhythmias in so many of these young individuals, but she was the unfortunate one. See, it is not one size fits all. Okay, if one person is able to tolerate three or four energy drinks in a day, it has become a fad. It has become a fashion statement that okay, she takes four energy drinks. I will take five. I will take 5 cups of coffee. If you are having anxiety issues taking coffee, why should you take coffee? Switch on to other drinks. No, take decaf, take tea instead of that. I don't know why we are missing on the point. It's not only diet. Please understand, my friend. Diet is very good. To follow a good diet is very good. And to do gym is very good. I'm not against gymming. I am totally for exercising and gymming. I am against the false hopes that the people are given by saying that take this. Your body, you will become, six packs will come within days.
Got it.
Or you will have
then let me break it down. Like I said, that's her case, that's Katie's case. Let's move on to all of us, everyday life. People who are watching right now probably sipping their morning cup of coffee. I have one right here, and having their morning cup of tea. Want to understand कि कितनी कॉफी खराब हो सकती है आपकी सेहत के लिए. At what point should you actually stop? Is there a measure to it? Does it depend? Does it change with person to person, with age, with gender?
Very interesting question. So, there is no one size fits all. Coffee intake, if you are taking one coffee a day, or maybe you are taking 2 cups of tea a day, and it is not giving you palpitations, it's not giving you irritation, it's not keeping you awake in the night. Every person has a different metabolism in the body. So when you take coffee, it is for an individual to decide how much is good enough for that person. They are able to decide themselves. I take coffee every day. I'm also a coffee freak. I also am dependent on that. But when I know I'm taking a second cup of coffee, I don't feel good. I start feeling my heartbeat. I have a kind of a sinus arrhythmia. I start second cup of coffee in, and I get really bad. So I know that I have to stop at one. Similarly, for every individual, what my humble advice to you, to everybody would be that please individualize yourself to the level of caffeine and nicotine that you can take. So, if your friend takes 2 cups of coffee every day and is feeling okay, that's fine for her. But if you feel uncomfortable, you feel jittery, you get very apprehensive, then please stop at one.
You're saying listen to your body. It'll tell you how much is too much. So try and be more aware. But, the other question, Doc, that pops up over here is that caffeine in the form of only your coffee is rarely the case, right? I think a lot of people today don't understand the amount of caffeine which is there in other products. They could have a cola drink here and there. They could have an energy drink every day in a sense, or a cola every day with their food, or when they are stepping out, and all of that is adding up to your caffeine level of the day. That's why I ask, is there a measure, or is there a mantra in which understanding how to actually stay on course and not go overboard?
See, the fad, I am absolutely against the fad of taking energy drinks every day. I don't think so.
At
it
all.
is a good idea at all. Yeah, you once in a while you take it, that is fine.
Then why do
But taking
sportsmen
it,
take it all the time and it's advertised all over? They are the ones with the fittest bodies.
see, I cannot answer for every sports people. People do so much things for money. I cannot do that. I can tell you what is right by the book. Okay, so I am not condemning anybody for doing whatever or doing whatever. There are so many people who do not smoke, but they go ahead and do the advertisement for tobacco and smoke. We can't question them. So this is for not at least it's not my job, your job. Yes, you can go ahead and question them because you are the media, right? But what I can say is I can tell you what is right in the health wise. As per the cardiac patients and as per the patients that we come across, the energy drinks are not good. They are boosters, and you are right. The statement that you made in the beginning, it has become the kind of a fad for the day, for the teenagers, especially for the youngsters, that they do consume so much of energy drinks every day. You take once in a while, once in a week, you take a energy drink. Once in 2 weeks, you take an energy drinks. That's okay. But taking energy 3 to 4, 5 energy drinks in a day, it doesn't measure. The sugar levels are so high. You get a sugar rush. You are looking at that kind of a stimulant. That is why you are taking these energy drinks. Otherwise, why should you try to harm your body, knowing that it is harming your body? Why should you take it? I think
Right.
the best thing is that you have a kind of a disclaimer on the drink.
Yeah.
Start putting that. There are the cigarette pack has smoking kills. It is written in such a big way, right? People take it. We can't stop everybody from smoking, but there is a disclaimer here. Also, we should have that. We
Should
should
have
have
that. I think that's a good
we should
idea.
have a
I think that's a
yeah.
good idea to have these drinks highlighted. We are anyways constantly telling here on the show also for people to read their labels, see what they're actually putting in their body. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us this morning. It's been
Pleasure.
quite a eye-opening conversation because all of us think that having coffee is bad for your gut. Who knew that having coffee is actually bad for your heart? So much so that it can be very, very detrimental. All right, let's move on now. And here on the Breakfast Club, we love celebrating different days. And guess what day it is today? It is the Independent Artists Day, a day dedicated to honoring the trailblazers of the art world who forged their own paths, creating outside the confines of mainstream institutions. It's time to recognize the incredible talent, fresh perspective, and unique contributions of artists who stay true to their creative visions. And to kick things off, we have a very special treat for you this morning. Priya Sara is joining us live this morning. A true powerhouse in the music world. Priya is a singer, she's a lyricist, she's a composer who has captured the hearts of millions, and with over 15 million monthly listeners on Spotify alone, she's behind some of Bollywood's biggest hits, including the very unforgettable Sun Satya. Hi, good morning, Priya. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we go in, I just want to tell our audiences that Bollywood is not her only identity. She actually explores independent music, particularly blending Gujarati folk with contemporary pop. And that's the reason why we have got her on the program today to talk to us a little bit about her independent artist journey and how she's getting after creating these very, very soulful tracks and connecting with audiences across the globe with her very raw music energy. Good morning, Priya. Thank you so much for being with us. How are you doing today?
Good morning, how are you? I'm doing good, thank you.
आपको पता था कि इंडिपेंडेंट आर्टिस्ट डे भी होता है? मैं सबसे पहले तो लोगों को ये जानकारी देना चाहती हूँ that what does it mean to be an independent artist? I don't think a lot of people watching today understand. If you had to define who an independent artist is, what would you say?
Honestly, I didn't know Independent Artist Day भी होता है. This is again like a news for me, and I'm so glad and so happy that you are creating this kind of awareness through your medium and your channel. So thank you so much for having me. First of all, independent artist for me, as the word suggests, where you have freedom to express yourself through your music, your voice, what you want to say. Sometimes in films we don't get to, we have to cater to a certain situation to make music. But when it comes to making independent music, it's like there are so many other topics, liberation, empowerment, human emotion, so many other topics that can be covered through music, which we generally don't get to make songs for in films.
That's right. And Priya, would you say this is an incredible time for artists where there are platforms like Spotify, YouTube, so many other where you can release your own music. You don't need the backing of a label or a production house to actually, back you up.
Yes, definitely, and we have been seeing there are so many artists, especially if I have to say Gujarati music. There are so many folk artists who are putting out their music on social media, and composers like film composers, music labels, they are now actually finding talent on social media. So it's become very easy for the artists to showcase their work on social media through all these platforms.
You're actually very right. It goes beyond just those who have access to really cool music, but anybody, even in the hinterlands, with good music can be spotted now. So in your opinion, Priya, back in the 90s, you were discussing this with the team, there was a time when independent music really thrived. There were independent albums which would come out, there was, pop music and folk music, and there was this entire realm of artists who would come out with really cool cassettes back then with music that was not Bollywood.
Yeah.
What do you think stopped that trend, and why are we back to doing only mainstream?
Honestly, I feel that every 10 years, every decade, the music scene changes. Even the films, the kind of films that we prefer watching, the generation changes. So I guess it was just a generational shift. Also, there were platforms like earlier we had just the cassettes or CDs, or I remember those audio players that we had, and the devices actually kind of evolved. We went to streaming platforms and social media, and even the artists, actually, to be very honest, the independent artists actually became film song singers, Bollywood singers. So I think that was kind of a generational shift, and people, the music labels, they kind of preferred the remixes, and there was an entire trend of remixes and item songs. So I think it's the every 10 years the soundscape of the music changes.
You're actually right about that. There definitely is a cycle that is followed here. But Priya, आज हम इंडिपेंडेंट आर्टिस्ट डे पर बात कर रहे हैं. आपका कोई इंडिपेंडेंट म्यूजिक, इंडिपेंडेंट सॉन्ग जो आप हमारे व्यूअर्स तक लेकर आना चाहेंगी, जो परहैप्स बॉलीवुड से बहुत फेमस नहीं हुआ है लेकिन आपके लिए बहुत स्पेशल है?
Yes, definitely. So I'm doing this Gujarati folk music series. It's called Varso, and I have produced season 1, season 2, and I've just released season 3, in which there are 6 songs, and I get to collaborate with a lot of folk artists as well as some legendary singers like Shankar Mahadevan sir and Shreya Ghoshal, who will be singing Gujarati songs in this series. So I have composed and I've written songs, as well as taken the folk, the culture, the mitti se juda hua, Gujarati mitti se juda hua music. And this is just released, so I would love to
please.
Tell through your medium for people, the Gujarati and non-Gujarati listeners, because now I feel the music is not bound to any language. We are listening to all kinds of music, all genres of music, and even all languages. So yes,
so Priya,
so there is a song
आप थोड़ा गा के सुनाएंगी तो लोगों को और मजा आएगा.
Sure. Yes, so there's a Ganpati prayer in Varso series, which is sung by Shankar sir. प्रथम पहला समरिये रे स्वामी तमने सुंढाड़ा, रिद्धि सिद्धि नादा तार देवता, रिद्धि सिद्धि नादा तार देवता, मेहर करो ने महाराज जी. Thank you.
Oh, how lovely, how lovely. It's a prayer, you said.
Yes, it's a Ganpati prayer.
हाउ लवली, हाउ लवली. तो प्रिया, अगर इस समय आपको बहुत सारे इंडिपेंडेंट आर्टिस्ट जो बनना चाहते हैं या अपना म्यूज़िक रिलीज़ करना चाहते हैं, आपको सुन रहे हैं और वो सोच रहे हैं कि भाई ऐसा मैं क्या म्यूज़िक लिखूं आज के समय में जहाँ इतना कंटेंट है, इतनी चीज़ें हैं लोगों को देखने के लिए, देयर इज़ एन ओवरलोड ऑफ सॉर्ट्स. तो ऐसे में कौन सा म्यूज़िक आपको लगता है इज़ डूइंग वेल? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ म्यूज़िक डू यू थिंक, tips that you can share with people who might want to make it big?
See, honestly, it's not possible to decide what kind of music will do well, but I feel that every song has its audience. And आप चाहे वो love song हो, sad song हो, whether it's a party song, I genuinely feel that every song finds its audience. Maybe अब शायद अब ना पता चले ऑडियंस को कि आपका गाने में आप क्या कहना चाहते हो, बट आई फील maybe 5 years later, 6 years later, audience will come to your song and find your song and listen to it. So definitely I feel that every song has its audience, and I genuinely feel that whatever emotions you want to portray in your song, bring out in your song, it should be honest and made from heart. Yeah.
I think that's the soul of an independent artist as well, right? Not confined by a script, not confined by a situation, but just writing song that really
Correct.
means something to them. Is there a song like that which is on your mind right now, Priya, that you would like to bring to us?
Yes, definitely. There's a ghazal which I had released. It's called Riha, and so when I released this ghazal, it had maybe 10 or 15 streams on Spotify, but now that number is slowly increasing. People are finding that song and going and searching, and they're sending me DMs that we really connect with this. So these type of interaction from audience, response from audience really motivates me as an artist. It's a ghazal. I would love to hum few lines of that ghazal for you. आज के बाद आज की याद रह जाएगी हो, आज के बाद आज की याद रह जाएगी, आज को कैद जरा कर लूं, फिर चाहे तुम रिहा हो जाओ, आज को कैद जरा कर लूं, फिर चाहे तुम रिहा हो जाओ.
Beautiful, beautiful, Priya. Riha ho jao. Well, thank you so much. Independence, that's the name of the day, and I think you've captured it beautifully over there. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with everything you do.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Have a good day.
So much beauty in art, in music. But what about poetry? Since it's Independent Artist Day, we thought thoda uska bhi flavor dete hain aapko. We also have with us Anamika Jain Amber. She's known for her fierce, unapologetic voice in poetry and performance. And she's also captivated audiences across the country with her powerful expressions and hard-hitting verses. Known for her stage performances and now her recent release, Dilli Ke Dil Mein. She's here with us this morning to share a few notes of poetry. Hi, good morning, Anamika. Thank you so much for coming in. Where did this seed of poetry actually come in from?
ये क्वेश्चन मुझे हमेशा बहुत अच्छा लगता है. एक्चुअली मैं बहुत छोटी थी, तो आई मीन 8-9 साल की रही होंगी, तो तभी मुझे ऐसे लगा कि कुछ मुझे लिखना चाहिए. And I was not knowing कि this is the poetry. मैंने कुछ लिखा ऐसे ही और मैं जिस क्षेत्र से आती हूँ, जिस स्फेयर से आती हूँ, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो पोएट्री करते हैं. बुंदेलखंड से आती हूँ, तो मैंने ऐसे ही कुछ लिखा और मेरे कुछ जो लोग पोएट्री करते थे उनके साथ ऐसे ही बैठ करके पूछा. मैंने कहा ये सब मैं लिख रही हूँ, ये क्या है? तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि ये पोएट्री है. और तुम जो लिख रही हो वो कविताएं हैं, तो 8-9 साल की रही होंगी तो अपने आप ये आया। मीन्स मेरे घर में कोई भी पोएट्री वर्ल्ड से नहीं है। मेरे दादाजी या हाँ वो थोड़ा बहुत लिखते थे, बट उनकी कोई ऐसी डायरी या ऐसा कोई बुक मुझे नहीं मिली है। तो जस्ट मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि शायद उनसे आया होगा, बट हम लोगों ने कभी उन्हें सुना नहीं।
हाँ, लवली। बुंदेलखंड से, you're राइट, काफ़ी सारे पोएट्स हैं, लेकिन फीमेल पोएट्स बहुत कम हैं, काफ़ी रेयर है जो इनके बारे में सुनने को मिलता है। तो क्या ये ट्रिकी है कि आपको लगता है कि हमेशा थोड़ा 5 स्टेप्स मोर जैसा कॉन्सेप्ट होता है वो करना पड़ता है एक फीमेल पोएट को?
नहीं, ऑलवेज मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि जब आप नारी होते हैं, लड़की होते हैं, ऑल्दो मैं हमेशा समझाती हूँ, पोएट्री से स्टार्ट करती हूँ कि सृष्टि के निर्माण में जो साझेदारी कर सकती है, सृष्टि के निर्माण में जो साझेदारी कर सकती है, शिव शक्ति को शक्ति शिव को शिवकारी कर सकती है, तो पुरुषों जैसा बनने में यूं निज मौलिकता क्या खोना, कोई नहीं कर सकता है जो वो नारी कर सकती है।
क्या बात है।
इन लाइंस ने कहीं ना कहीं मुझे वो स्ट्रेंथ दी है जो पुरुष प्रधान देश में इसको कुछ लोग हो सकता है कि अन्यथा ले लें, अदरवाइज ले लें, उनको लगे कि अनामिका इस तरह की बात क्यों कर रही है, बट आपकी बात सही है। हाँ, 5 स्टेप मोर, इनफैक्ट 10 टाइम्स मोर मुझे लोगों से ज्यादा मेहनत अपने आप को स्थापित करने में लगी है, क्योंकि वो उनके लिए जो चीज बहुत ईजी होती है, एक औरत होने के नाते मुझे वो एक्स्ट्रा लगा करने में। और वो हर जगह होता है, हर स्फेयर में होता है, पोएट्री में भी था, खास तौर से जब आपको स्टेज परफॉर्मेंस देनी होती है तब। दोनों ही जगह आप स्टेज पे जिन लोगों के साथ पोएट्री कर रहे हैं, मींस कवियों के साथ कर रहे हैं, उनकी भी मानसिकता बहुत अलग होती है आपको लेकर के, और जो आपको सुन रहे हैं उनकी भी बहुत अलग होती है। तो अनामिका अंबर के लिए आप ये कह सकते हैं कि मैं ट्रेंड सेटर रही हूँ। मैंने ये सबसे पहले ये सेट किया है कि जिस तरह से कवियों को सुना जाता है, उतने ही गंभीरता से, उतने ही मन से और उतनी ही इम्पोर्टेंस के साथ कवित्री को भी सुना जाए।
चलिए, इंशाल्लाह आप जो बोल रही हैं वो बिल्कुल आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर जैसे बोलते हैं, वो बिल्कुल ट्रू हो, आपकी जैसी और फीमेल पोइट्स आगे बढ़ें। अनामिका, आज आपकी फेवरेट पोइट्री के बारे में बात करते हैं, जो आपने लिखी हो उसकी कुछ लाइनें हमें बताएं।
आई एम वेरी मच लकी इन दिस कि मेरे पास वो लाइन है जो कि मैंने खुद भी लिखी है, एंड मैं वो यहाँ जरूर शेयर करना चाहूंगी, एंड इफ यू परमिट देन मैं अपने अंदाज में कहना चाहूंगी।
प्लीज गो अहेड, प्लीज।
लोग जब आपके स्वाभिमान को चुनौती दें, तो एक बात है जो आप उनसे जरूर कहें, आप कुछ भी हैं, इफ यू आर एन एंकर, यू आर डॉक्टर, आप पॉलिटिकल बहुत बड़ा फेस है, आप कुछ भी हैं, यू आर एनीथिंग, आप अपने आप को एक बात समझा सकते हैं जो मैं कह रही हूँ। सुनिएगा कि अगर तुम भी नहीं हमसे, तो फिर हम भी नहीं तुमसे, कोई खुशियां नहीं तुमसे, कोई गम भी नहीं तुमसे, हुनर से कद को अपने खुद बढ़ाना जानते हैं हम, हुनर से कद को अपने खुद बढ़ाना जानते हैं हम, ज्यादा तो नहीं तुमसे, ज्यादा तो नहीं तुमसे, मगर कम भी नहीं तुमसे, ज्यादा तो नहीं तुमसे, मगर कम भी नहीं तुमसे।
क्या बात है अनामिका, lovely, that's very very nice, and you're right, it does have like a anthem tune and anthem feel to it, but अनामिका, आगे आप इतनी अच्छी पोइट्री कर रही हैं, इतनी सारे बैरियर्स ब्रेक कर रही हैं, आपका ड्रीम क्या है अपने लिए लाइफ में, और आगे क्या अचीव करना चाहती हैं?
मेरा हमेशा से ये सपना ही रहा है और यही कारण है कि बहुत सारी चीज़ों को छोड़ते हुए मैं यहाँ तक पहुँची हूँ। लोग लिखते हैं, उनकी किताबें इकट्ठी होती हैं, लोगों तक पहुँचती हैं, ठीक है, इतना होता है। कुछ लोग परफॉर्म करते हैं, उनका नाम बड़ा होता है, लोग सुनते हैं, हो जाता है, इट्स ओके। इनमें मेरा थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा है। अब आप इसे एक्स्ट्रा कहिए, स्वार्थ कहिए, बट मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि जिस तरह से और चीजें लोगों तक पहुंची हैं, आप कोई गाना यदि सुनते हैं, आप कोई बहुत फेमस सॉन्ग सुनते हैं, तो किसने गाया है वो लोगों तक पहुंचता है। यकीन मानिए, जिनको इंटरेस्ट है कि किसने लिखा है, बस वही उस नाम को जान पाते हैं। तो ये जो अंदर एक टीज है, आप इसको ऐसे लीजिएगा कि ये जो टीज है कि ये भी पता होना चाहिए। यंगस्टर्स आज इंस्टाग्राम पे कोई सॉन्ग्स, बहुत बहुत फेमस सॉन्ग है, उसको लगातार गा रहे हैं, वो बहुत फेमस हो रहा है। किसने गाया, किसने परफॉर्म किया, दे नो वेरी वेल, बट किसने लिखा, ये लिरिक्स किसके हैं, किसने इस पे इतनी मेहनत की होगी, वो कोई ना जानता है और ना जानने की कोशिश करता है। मेरा सपना यही है कि पोएट्री को मास बनाया जाए। आई मीन, लोगों तक ये बात पहुंचनी चाहिए कि पोएट्री जो जो ओरिजिनेट हुई है, जहाँ से ये गाना शुरू हुआ है, लिखने से शुरू हुआ है, थॉट से शुरू हुआ है, वहां से वो नाम जरूर लोगों तक पहुंचना चाहिए। और इसके लिए मैं बहुत सारे काम भी कर रही हूँ। नए नए शोज कई बार चैनल्स के माध्यम से लोगों तक पहुंचाती हूँ, या हमने कोई संस्थाएं बनाई हुई है, तो वहां से नए नए लोगों को इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं। और हम कोशिश करते हैं कि ज्यादातर स्टेज प्रोग्राम्स किए जाएं, जिससे कि लोग जान सकें कि ये जो लोग लिखते हैं वो कैसे हैं, जो ये सोचते हैं वो क्या है, जिसको बाद में गाया और परफॉर्म किया जाता है। तो मेरा सपना यही है कि लोगों तक पोएट्री पहुंचे।
That is absolutely beautiful. Couldn't have asked for a better ending to this conversation. Thank you, Anamika. आपका सपना हमारी पूरी दुआ रहेगी कि साकार हो, हम ऐसी कॉन्वर्सेशंस करते रहें जो आपका ये जो सपना है, और आई थिंक आपके जैसे बहुत सारे पोइट्स का सपना होगा वो भी साकार हो पाए. How beautiful, no? So those were two independent artists that we brought for you. One from the poetry section, one who's a singer, lyricist, songwriter as well. Such beauty in art and such beauty and talent coming out of all over the country. This is really a good time. So if you've not inspired at the end of this conversation, well, clearly you need to go and look back. For now, let's flip into a very quick break. When we come back on the other side, we've got an exclusive chat with Travis Head coming up.
Retirement. United States President Donald Trump has now announced reciprocal tariffs, and in a major setback for India, Trump has now announced 26% tariffs on India. While announcing tariffs, Trump asserted that the Prime Minister of India is a good friend, adding that the United States did not charge India for a very long time. Now, Trump has slapped 25% tariff on foreign automobiles and 10% tariff on all the imports. 34% tariffs has now been announced against China, 20% tariffs against Europe, 46% tariffs against Vietnam. And in his remarks on the reciprocal tariffs, Trump said that tariffs are a declaration of economic independence for the United States of America, and that the money generated from tariffs will now be used to reduce taxes and pay down the national debt. He has also added that the United States taxpayer will not be ripped off anymore. These are the latest inputs that we're tracking from the ground, where Trump has now imposed tariffs on India and has also suggested, while speaking and giving out that tariff plan speech, he said that we didn't charge India for a very long time. PM of Indian Prime Minister is a dear friend of United States. However, it's now time for India also to face the tariffs. Well, we are now continuing to track breaking inputs on this entire tariff plan that has now been unveiled by President Donald Trump. Now, President Donald Trump has declared it as a Liberation Day, announcing a 10% baseline tariff on all the imports to the United States. He's described this as a declaration of economic independence, aiming to revitalize American industries and reduce the national debt on USA. Additionally, higher tariffs were imposed on specific countries, including 34% tariff on China, 20% on European Union, to address the long-standing trade imbalances. Critics have further warned that these measures could lead to increased consumer prices and potential trade wars. These are the latest inputs that we're tracking from the ground, where Donald Trump has now announced reciprocal tariffs with a baseline of 10% tax that has been levied on all the imports. Trump has further announced 26% tariffs for India. Donald Trump has now announced the reciprocal tariffs. This was a much awaited tariff plan by the world. However, the world has now started reacting to this. Largely, the world leaders have slammed the reciprocal tariffs that have now been unveiled by the United States. Well, reciprocal tariffs are a declaration of our economic freedom, Trump said during his tariff plan addressal and unveiling of tariffs on all the countries. 185 nations have now been affected and slapped with these tariffs on imports. Trump's remarks.
Welcome back. You're watching The Breakfast Club. It's time to take you through stories coming in from India and across the globe. The production of railway locomotives housing the engine of the train in India has reached 1,681 in the last financial year 24-25. This helped the country surpass the total locomotive production of nations and continent, including the United States, Europe, South America, Africa and Australia. It is also important to note that the majority of locomotives produced in the country were intended for freight trains. It's happy birthday for Vikrant Massey today. The actor gradually carved his way up the entertainment industry, started out on TV serials long ago, and now in his recent film successes, from the Sabarmati Report to 12th Fail, has won audience's heart and undoubtedly has a huge fan base. Here's wishing Vikrant a very happy birthday. The blue screen of death, which became popular during the infamous CrowdStrike outage last year, will get a major overhaul soon. In a blog post, Microsoft revealed that it will be giving the iconic Windows blue screen of death a new appearance. It is previewing a new, more streamlined UI for unexpected restarts, which better align with the Windows 11 design principles. Tunnels built to shelter Londoners during the World War II bombings by Germany are set to be transformed into British capital's biggest new attraction. The company that has been tasked to bring the sprawling network of passages back to life confirmed this. The tunnels, which are about 1.6 kilometers long and tall enough in parts to fit double-decker buses, lie under the Holborn in central London. Elvis Presley fans who missed out on seeing their hero when he was alive will be able to catch a glimpse of the king of rock and roll perform later this year thanks to virtual reality. Layered Reality and an immersive entertainment company developing the show, Elvis Presley said it will be immersive, interactive experience for fans to follow events through Presley's life and music. Visitors will be taken on a journey from Tupelo, Mississippi, where Presley was born in 1935, to Memphis and Tennessee, home to the Graceland, and then finally to Las Vegas. Wildfire detected company RAD Networks demonstrated its first fully functional AI-based drone system for detecting, locating and monitoring wildfires in Germany. Now Reuters has this report. Alice Rizzo reports. All right, we'll bring you that in just a moment from now. But let's move on to some cricketing action. Australian cricket star Travis Head has opened up about everything from his IPL journey to his commercial debut in India. This is an exclusive chat with CricketNet's Vineet. Take a look.
Good fun. I'm a pretty laid-back, jovial guy who likes to have fun and not take things too seriously. India is such a big country, such a big following.
Then looking at the team assembled by SRH, is this probably the best batting, the most destructive batting unit among the 10, at least this year? What's your opinion?
It's up there. It's hard to unpack, I guess. There's so many good teams. I think it's senior player now. I think I'll leave him be a lot of this year, and I'll try and support him as much as possible. I feel like he's ready to properly take.
Be it the IPL heroics or winning matches for Australia at the international stage, he is a game changer wherever he plays. So let's dive in with the man himself to get inside the head of Travis Head himself. Welcome, Travis. It's a pleasure to have you at News 18, the CNN News 18.
Thank you for having me.
It seems to be, you have become a person where the fans just love to hate you. As a cricketer, how do you look at that in terms of how do you reciprocate to that? I mean, is it a case where that spurs you up, or it's something that, as a professional cricketer, it's part and parcel of the game? Because with that varied emotions also comes in a lot of respect also. Yeah,
I think I take it as it comes. I think I respect the fact that India is such a big country, such a big following. I've been very fortunate to play well in a couple of games. It's not in my nature. So I guess play it off in a jovial way, and I find it quite funny with some of the stuff that comes out. But in terms of Australia v India or the result or my performance, it doesn't spur me on anymore. I just go out and try and enjoy myself and play well. And I guess I've been put in a position a few times against India over the last 18 months and been able to play well. But on the same side, they've played well against us a few times. So no, I definitely feel that relationship with the fans. Looking at others and looking at the team assembled by SRH, is this probably the best batting, the most destructive batting unit among the 10, at least this year? What's your opinion? It's up there. It's hard to unpack, I guess. There's so many good teams. You look at the Mumbai team and you look through their batting, and even the Delhi team with some of the power that they've got. That's just off the top of my head, and you can pick through every team. So it's going to be hard. It's hard to pick at the start of every year, I think. There's always unknowns. There's always teams that jump at the start and start well, and there's always teams that maybe start on the slower side of things and build your way up. You're going to go look at Bangalore last year, where the way they started and they were able to finish. So how you start's not always where you're going to be at the end, whether it be good or bad. But it's hard to sum up. I like to see it in the first couple of weeks, and hopefully we're on the right side of it and playing well and got some momentum. Because you're an all-format player, you've had the whole gamut, the BGT, the Champions Trophy, and now the IPL. For you, what is the kind of preparedness that you go ahead with in terms of mentally also, or any specific areas you look to focus on, let's say for the IPL in itself? I've come pretty relaxed so far. I've not tried to put too much thought into it. I always feel like get here and then start preparing. Like you said, it's been a busy 12 months. I haven't had a lot of time at home. I think I've just come off 7 or 8 days at home with the family, and with 2 young children, trying to maximise that time is important to me. So I haven't had a hit or I haven't trained much over the last 8 days. I get here now. I guess very lucky and privileged that I travel here a lot, so I know the conditions well. So once I get into it, I may have to do a little bit more over the next 3 or 4 days, but knowing that it's a long tournament, knowing that I want to try and make an impact at some point. Maybe it might not be at the start, hopefully it is at the start, but I know it's a long tournament. I know you've got to pace yourself through it mentally and physically, and I think I'm trying to do that as I come into it. Try and come in refreshed and ready to go, and be excited around my teammates and excited around the guys I play with, and then hopefully that excitement and energy brings into performance. But for a long period of time now, I've tried not to worry too much about things and take it one game at a time, and just try and stay as relaxed as I can. Nice. On that, refreshing, your debut for SRH last year was quite refreshing. What according to you really clicked for you personally with that SRH lineup? The team itself did really well, but from a team perspective and from your own perspective, what do you think really clicked for you guys, and you personally? I think I'm very lucky to have Dan Vittoria and Pat Cummins as coach and captain, because I guess I played a certain style for Australia for a couple of years now, and going into the auction, I was hopeful to be with Dan, and then that worked, and then even better that the plan worked with Pat was there as well. So to have those two guys, to have that partnership, and guys who I work really, really well with in Australia, to be able to communicate and a plan and a style that they wanted, which hasn't changed for me throughout Australia or Hyderabad. Last year to have Markram and Janssen and Klaas as well, some experienced internationals that really bought into the way we wanted to play, and it's a difficult style. We wanted to be aggressive. We're trying to instill that mistakes are going to happen and games aren't going to go always our way, and that the confidence will always be there from the coach and captain. So I guess having experienced that and knowing what that feeling was like, it was trying to instill Nitish and Abby and those sort of guys around that they could play that way and they could express themselves, and there will be always a positive mindset, and there will be always support behind them. So I think that happened early. So that what led to some of the performances we were able to have, which were very exciting. And
you talked about Abhishek. There's a great camaraderie, at least what we've seen from the social media videos and everything. Great camaraderie between you two. And again, it's very similar to you talked about how the idea, the game plan is to go out there and express yourself. Abhishek is also doing that. How do you, as a senior pro now, and with him, how do you go about that kind of conversations with him? What was the reason behind that effectiveness and the kind of conversations that you're having with him?
I think it will change this year now with how he's gone over the last 12 months. I feel like last year was more of a senior player and a younger guy coming through that had so much potential, and everyone knew how good he was. And I remember the first couple of training sessions seeing him bat against spin and the way he was able to hit spin, and I think the partnership really worked well. And the opening partnership is important. Having done it for Australia for a bit of time with David Warner and knowing how important it is, and you're the first two guys to go out and set the tempo and set the tone for the team, and you want to do it well. And but it's also important to have a really good relationship in that, because you're the two guys going out there at the same time and you're batting together all the time. So we got along really, really well, and I think that's the most important part about it all. We could feed each off each other. Strengths, weaknesses. It's always okay to speak out about weaknesses, and that's when you've got to look for your partner, and we did that last year. I thought we combined really, really well in our strengths and weaknesses, and he's had a huge 12 months now, so I think it's senior player now. I think I'll leave him be a lot of this year, and I'll try and support him as much as possible. I feel like he's ready to properly take the competition by storm, and I think he did last year, but I feel like he can properly go this year, and I think my role now is just to keep him going and trying to support that as much as I can, and just trying to do my job at the other end. So,
in comparison to other teams, which team do you think would be the toughest to beat to the title? Because you have had a lot of combos.
It's hard to pick one. If you have to pick one, I think you go by what's the past has been. So you go Mumbai. Mumbai have been the strongest for a long period of time. I feel like they've always been thereabouts. They've got a strong batting lineup. And they've always been dangerous, and they always find a way. So,
all in good fun. Also, let's talk about your collaboration with Uber. This is probably the first time you're collaborating with a brand here in India. What is the process behind that? What's happening with this brand? Can you give me a bit more insight about it?
Yeah, so it's the first time I've really done anything in sort of the commercial space, and I guess Uber being as big as it is in Australia and in India, a massive company, and then I guess the way they pitched and come and play on that, I guess that rival, that friendship, that fun sort of side of things, and the love-hate relationship is good fun, but. I guess it's a new world for me and for them. It's a nice
The fun part, the cheeky part of it is coming out in the campaign. How similar or different is this Travis Head to the Travis Head that we have been accustomed to seeing on the pitch?
It will come out in bits. Very different. There's moments through the campaign that are a bit more serious and a bit more fun, and it's a nice collaboration. So good fun. I'm a pretty laid back, jovial guy who likes to have fun and not take things too seriously. So I guess that works well in the playoff in terms of the relationship between myself and some Indian fans. That cricket sometimes is a lot more serious than what it can be, and I don't take it as seriously. So I enjoy that playoff, I guess.
All right, so that was an excerpt. You can watch that full interview on our YouTube channel on CNN News 18. For now, we're going to slip into a break, but not before giving you a quick programming note. The stage is set. The leaders are ready. The News 18 Rising Bharat Summit 2025 brings you thought-provoking conversations, groundbreaking ideas, and the voices shaping tomorrow. At the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, you can log into news18features.com/Rising Bharat Summit to register now. And it's on the 8th and 9th of April, so save the date.
With the baton of power set to shift, Bharat's youth will drive the next wave of change. The biggest leaders and policymakers, global trendsetters, business icons, and entrepreneurs will come together to inspire the next generation of change makers. Don't miss your chance to witness it all live. Rising Bharat Summit 2025.
आधे बाउल दही।
The United States President Donald Trump has now announced reciprocal tariffs, and in a major setback for India, Trump has now announced 26% tariffs on India. While announcing tariffs, Trump asserted that the Prime Minister of India is a good friend, adding that the United States did not charge India for a very long time. Now, Trump has slapped 25% tariff on foreign automobiles and 10% tariff on all the imports. 34% tariffs has now been announced against China, 20% tariffs against Europe, 46% tariffs against Vietnam. And in his remarks on the reciprocal tariffs, Trump said that tariffs are a declaration of economic independence for the United States of America, and that the money generated from tariffs will now be used to reduce taxes and pay down the national debt. He has also added that the United States taxpayer will not be ripped off anymore. These are the latest inputs that we're tracking from the ground, where Trump has now imposed tariffs on India and has also suggested, while speaking and giving out that tariff plan speech, he said that we didn't charge India for a very long time. PM of Indian Prime Minister is a dear friend of United States. However, it's now time for India also to face the tariffs. Well, we are now continuing to track breaking.
Welcome back. Next, we bring you a special segment on the financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's start with how markets are pegged to open this Thursday morning. GIFT Nifty indicates a weak opening for the Indian equities on tariff tremors. Asian indices plunged in opening trades today in the shadow of choppy as well. US markets following President Trump's tariff on 180 countries. Gold prices, meanwhile, could trend higher given the uncertainty in global economies over trade tariff. Crude oil prices sank over fears of lower demand if tariff wars could slacken trade and global economic output. Let's move to the sector in focus this morning. The hotel industry upcycle that started after the COVID-19 pandemic is sustaining. High domestic travel, wedding grandeur and rise in corporate meetings and events continue to drive demand. Add to this a spiritual tourism and better regional connectivity through new airports, roads and highways augur well for the hotel industry. This points to the favourable demand-supply situation that will spice up interest in the hotel stocks. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the hotel sector and also various other actionable insights on the markets. It's a premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control. All right, with that, we've come towards the end of our program today. But every day we leave you with a visual to remember. And this one is really the most adorable possum. You know, the uniting of Sunita Williams and her dogs that happened. Nearly 2 weeks after her return to Earth, Williams has now shared a heartwarming video of a long-awaited reunion with her 2 Labradors and a retriever as well, Gunner and Gobi. The reunion was long overdue, one of the hardest parts of the unexpected stay in space for the NASA astronaut, and she said she was missing her early morning walks with her dogs. A heartwarming moment as the young girls also sort of, you know, the dogs meet in. This is the next one, the video that we wanted to bring you, and for this I'm going to pause a little bit for you to actually enjoy this. These are girls singing the very patriotic Maa Tujhe Salam, coming in from the northeast. So these are girls who've come together and have their own rendition for it. Sit back and enjoy.
म्यूचुअल फंड सही
The United States President Donald Trump has now announced reciprocal tariffs, and in a major setback for India, Trump has now announced 26% tariffs on India. While announcing tariffs, Trump asserted that the Prime Minister of India is a good friend, adding that the United States did not charge India for a very long time. Now, Trump has slapped 25% tariff on foreign automobiles and 10% tariff on all the imports. 34% tariffs has now been announced against China, 20% tariffs against Europe, 46% tariffs against Vietnam, and in his remarks on the reciprocal tariffs, Trump said that tariffs are a declaration of economic independence for the United States of America, and that the money generated from tariffs will now be used to reduce taxes and pay down the national debt. He's also added that the United States taxpayer will not be ripped off anymore. These are the latest inputs that we're tracking from the ground, where Trump has now imposed tariffs on India and has also suggested, while speaking and giving out that tariff plan speech, he said that we didn't charge India for a very long time. PM of Indian Prime Minister is a dear friend of United States. However, it's now time for India also to face the tariffs. Well, we are now continuing to track breaking inputs on this entire tariff plan that has now been unveiled by President Donald Trump. Now, President Donald Trump has declared it as a Liberation Day, announcing a 10% baseline tariff on all the imports to the United States. He's described this as a declaration of economic independence, aiming to revitalize American industries